Welcome one and all back to the No Tack Talk podcast. Today is a great day. Today is an amazing day. It is not March 6th, but when I release this episode, it will be March 6th. And you say, Jay, what's so special about this day? That's because a year ago, the No Tack Talk podcast. And just so y'all know, I'm gonna have a lot of like effects in this, a lot of like echoes, explosions. This is, my guest today. He's here in the raw and uncut, but I'm just gonna edit it. It's gonna be amazing because this is the 52nd episode. I vowed to create good, consistent, valuable content, not just for a year, but that was my first goal for myself is do it for a year. Right? It was in March. It wasn't in January. It was no New Year's resolution. I wanted to do it for myself. I wanted to say, hey, how far can I take this thing? And people are asking, like, when is season two coming? I don't even know when season two is coming, but we still rocking it on, right? I've seen other podcasts have like 10 or 20 episodes and go to season two, but I'm in the groove. Okay, I'm in the groove and it ain't stopping you. I'm still getting guests. I'm still getting great feedback from people that I don't even know, which is crazy. Emails from other countries every now and then, a couple of dollars coming in, got a couple of sponsorships. Shout out to Jesus Drip Joey, humblebeastinChrist.com, right? We're in the shirt. Um, and it's getting great. So, and because of the winter storm, if you heard the last episode, a lot of stuff was pushed to the right and the left and up and down. And I don't think this is a coincidence that today, like almost a week prior to, we're doing it with my boy today. We're gonna get to him in a second, but I just wanted to just congratulate myself. God to be the glory. But I'm proud of myself. I wanted to do it once a week, but through that entire year, Jay's therapy sessions was born, and I think I did it for consistently every Sunday for probably about 7 months, and then I had like a death in the family, and this life happened, right? And so I was still putting it out probably once a week, once every 2 weeks, but at the end of it, my goal was to have 52 episodes, no matter what. And it wasn't like I was just throwing episodes in there, like I would do other if I was a guest on somebody else's podcast, I would put that on there as well. If I was like speaking somewhere, I put it on on there. But ultimately, you got a year's worth of podcasts that you can listen to. Because if this is your first time, okay, listen to the No Tax Talk podcast. Welcome, because we are a year in.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is make a video for each one of them. It's sort of like an intro. I'm gonna kind of redo the social media and kind of have like an intro for each of the episodes. I'm gonna double down. So I'll probably take like a month or so off for the second season whenever that happens and just do a recap for folks so they can kind of double down, catch back up. And then season two is gonna be I got some plans.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's enough for me.
Thanks.
Today we have Mrs. Jarrell True Love. I mean, relationship expert? I don't know. The,
Uh,
the the man,
Still on the way.
you're right. First of all, let's bring you on. What's up, man? How's it going?
What's going on, bro, man?
So-
Thanks for having me. Excited to connect with you after that
yes.
snow apocalypse or snow vid, whatever you want to call it
Oh
last
my
week.
goodness. That's Novit. I haven't heard that one. That's good.
Yeah, people are calling it snow vid. So just glad to be here, man. Excited to chop it up and connect and connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are the creator of the Friends First, just every program, YouTube channel, and everything. You're everywhere with the Friends First. I
Yeah.
went through most of all of your videos, and it's great content. But before we get down to the deep stuff,
Yeah.
I want to know what's in the cup.
Yeah.
What's in the cup when you come on the video? I mean, the mic sounds super saucy, so I can hear every bit of liquid in your throat. I'm just like, what's in the cup?
You know what? Honestly, it's usually it depends on when I record. 'Cause
Okay.
I can record any time of day; it all looks the same. So
Yeah.
usually it's coffee, but a lot of times it's just water.
Okay.
You
So what
know,
made you do that? It's like your aesthetic. What made you do that?
it's funny.
Cup of
Trying
vision.
to, I was trying to think like what's going to be my thing as far as like intro. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
has their thing, and it evolves over time. Of
Yeah.
course, start from the beginning, and I just happened to have my Yeti with me.
Mm-hmm.
I set it down and I sat down and I took a sip and I said, let's begin. And I was like, that's it. Like that's it.
Yeah, and it's simple, but it catches you because you're expecting honestly people to be like me. What's up? Welcome notes. You welcome expecting this energy. I think even one of them you like walked into the camera, you kind of just sat down, you gathered yourself. You said, I'm taking my time for my
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my little sip. And then it's like and the music comes in. And let me tell you too, I don't really like music under anything if somebody's talking. Maybe like a ET kind of thing, like it's motivational, got the dun, 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 you got
Yeah,
to do it. But for you, it's like it's chill. You don't even notice the music, but it's actually guiding you with the conversation. And I was like, man, like I'm feeling it, you know?
yeah. Well, I think it works well because it's not really for me. It's not really long form content. It's more like I want it to be like kind of like a bite sized.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, here's what I have to say in this moment. Take it, use it, apply it, talk about it, and then we'll go to the next one. So
Yeah.
I've made some videos in the past, and I just always felt like I want to have music. I want
Mm-hmm.
something to go with it, and I think it works well.
I think it works perfectly. Like it's a feeling. It's like you remember Carl? You know Carl from the ET Ram. He had his solo creator pro thing out. He's talking about like aesthetics in the room. Like the first thing that you see when you see a video, you
Yeah,
probably seen him somewhere in some, but
I think I
he
remember.
has like the stuff in the background, which is what I'm trying to get to. But
Yeah,
I still just move. So this what you get is my wall. If y'all watching this on YouTube, I had my backdrop and everything too. But like as we were trying to do before, like I'm trying to create the the aesthetics and like the light. I'm getting my lights and stuff set up. But
yeah,
it's a slow roll. It's a progress thing, right? And so like I'm not gonna just. I don't feel like that I should have to spend like $1,000 just to put good content out. And what I
not
feel like you've done, and me being a creative, right? We use that word loosely, but that's
yeah.
the first thing I'm looking at before I even listen to you. I'm looking at, okay, the lighting's sick, the microphone sounds great. Like it's just like a smooth, nice little backdrop you got going on. It's like, man, like all of that before you even get to the content is like dope. I just want to give you your props, honestly. I'm just
Man,
saying. I ain't trying to hype you up, but I don't hype people up. But it's just a respect thing. I got the lights and stuff in front of me, but I ain't always had them lights. I had like one little mini ring light and it
yeah,
was trash. But now I got some probably the lights you use and you use it for photography. I wish I could show them to you. You know what I'm talking about, the little flash ones, right?
yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and I feel like I was a little blessed because I'm a wedding photographer as well.
Right.
So I have a pretty high-end camera. Had the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I had everything I needed to get started except for the light,
Yeah.
and I found one on sale for like $30.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, I spent $30 and I was ready to go. So I feel blessed. I know that people who are starting from scratch, which mic do I buy? Which camera do I buy? Which
Mm-hmm.
do I buy? So I was able to get a pretty good start. But I
That's,
appreciate.
yeah, that's what I tell people. In my Amazon cart, I have it. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. You let me know if this is a good camera
All right.
on the thing. I'm gonna go to it right now.
Yeah.
I have a Shure SM7B, I think, which is the mic I want to use. It's like $400.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've used it and oh goodness,
Butter.
it's butter, hot butter, like over the steak. You just get it and they cut it and it's anyway.
Uh,
And then I have a Canon EOS M50. That makes sense to you?
you know what? I'm not a Canon guy.
What are you using?
So I'm a Sony guy. So I have Sony A7 threes.
Okay.
That's a camera most people aren't gonna buy.
It's
Uh,
so expensive. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I have A7 III. But like I
I
said,
also have one. It's a it's just it don't even has a name, I don't think. It's like $118. It's called Sedita. I don't know.
mm,
And it's just I just need a good 4K camera because the mic will be connected, here to just get some good quality. So like for the most time, if I'm doing it in person, especially, I use my phone because it records in 4K up to 60 frames per second. So I just been using that, and it looks really good.
yeah, it's gonna be hard to get a cheap 4K
I
camera, but
know.
also at the same time, what helps with the video quality is the lens.
Hmm.
A whole nother, which can be
Yeah, the lenses are even more expensive.
camera. So I have, like I said, I was blessed 'cause I have a couple $1,000 worth of gear,
I'm
but
sure.
I've had it for like 2 years.
Okay.
So, I really haven't had to make that investment. But
I wouldn't say cheap. I would say starter. I need a good starter.
a good starter camera will run you maybe 700 to 1,000. But as
Goodness.
far as lens, maybe go with like a 35 millimeter or 50 millimeter. A good one of those will be maybe.
Doesn't it come with the lens already? Why I gotta spend another
Uh,
$1,000?
what people don't know is that the kit lens that comes with any camera is usually
Uh,
trash. Like you could toss it. It's literally it's not good.
Okay.
You're not gonna buy another lens, but you can get a good lens for about $200 or $300. That'll
So
really,
I probably need a good grand, and then I could probably like get one on President's Day and call it a day.
yeah, a grand
Okay.
will be able to have a dope setup.
And I'm not paying for it. I refuse. Like I have a really good microphone. I spent a little good money on this. I'm gonna let the podcast pay for that.
Yeah,
I could save up, get it probably a month or so. I'm not doing that though.
yeah,
I do that for too many things. I said I'm gonna let this podcast, the little sponsorship I get, I let them save up. People send me money here and there. I let that save up. I ain't even looking at it.
yeah.
I'm gonna start selling shirts eventually. Maybe that'll pay for the camera. I don't know, but the shirts are coming soon. I keep saying that, but maybe they come out in season 2. Who knows?
Until,
Okay, so I wanted to talk about. I know you had some talking points as well. Very controversial, controversial topic, and I wanted your obviously your input on the 10-year chick and
yeah,
10-year dude.
yeah,
Now, I didn't think that was a thing for a while until I started growing up and I started seeing people. I mean, I thought 5 years was kind of too long, right? Because you think you would know after 5 years, but when you broke it down like the 10 year, it's like, yo, like people are really out here in like true situationships. What do I mean, come on. Like, so what's your take on that?
yeah. So like I said in the video, the 10-year chick, the 10-year dude, it's
Mm-hmm.
a situation where you have two people who are in a relationship. They're serious, they're exclusive,
Yeah.
but they've been together for 10 years and they are still not married or usually engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I said in the video was that, usually when you're together that long and the man hasn't made a commitment or the woman hasn't made the commitment a requirement,
Yeah.
usually a disconnect. Somebody wants something that the other person doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
There's, a couple of cases where, two people like they have a plan
Mm-hmm.
and they're on the same page and they're just doing that thing, which is great. But that's the exception. That's not the rule.
Right.
Usually something's off. And one thing I said in the video is that, if you set a woman down because, with the goal being marriage, the
Mm-hmm.
man proposes to the woman, which means that the woman is in essence waiting.
Is
And
that scripture? I thought of. I mean, I'm all for that. I 100% agree with you. But I'm always playing devil's advocate. I'm thinking about the person that's listening. So like, I don't think that a woman should propose to a man. But is that bad? Is it against? I guess what God says, maybe, or.
no, because in my opinion, it's not that she's forcing the guy to get married, but if as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
you are wanting the man to lead,
And to be the man.
the proposal is saying, hey, this is where I'm going, come with me. I
Mm.
want you to come with me, let's go do this together. And
Mm-hmm.
the woman says, yes, I see where you're going, I agree, let's go build a life.
Mm-hmm.
um, Whereas if a woman's proposing, it's kind of like saying, hey, I want to go with you, or hey, here's where I'm going, come with me. And I feel like that sets a bad precedent, at the onset of the relationship.
I
uh,
think for me too, I had to learn about different personality types. I'm obviously an extroverted personality, but I've started seeing more relationships where the woman was an extrovert, and it's not necessarily that she was leading the relationship, but it's like you were saying, she was kind of hinting strongly, like nudging the guy, and he just will fold over, whatever. He just, as long as I got my coffee, my TV, whatever, she do everything. To
yeah,
me, that didn't compute, but I mean, if they have a good thing going,
yeah.
is that wrong?
It's not wrong if that's who they really are and if
Yeah.
it's really working.
Okay.
Every dynamic is going to be different. So if it's working, I tell people, man, keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's your relationship, that's your marriage. But if you don't want to ever say yes because you feel pressured,
Mhm.
yes because, like I say, you're just giving in, because then later down the line, that's when the resentment pops up. That's when, and honestly, that's how the 10-year chicks and 10-year dudes pop up,
Mhm.
because there's something off. And it's basically two people not on the same page. And you would think that after 10 years or 15 years or 20 years,
Mhm.
that somebody would say, hey,
What are
I
we
don't want
doing?
it. What are we doing? I don't want. What do you want? And
Yeah.
I talk about that in my video. love and relationships, it's nice, but you can't excuse yourself from the responsibilities of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that a lot of times people kind of back themselves into a corner because, the longer you're with somebody, the harder it is to break up because now you might have children.
You've invested so much time and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. I ain't
Like,
trying. I already met your family.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
mom, we've had the holidays, we're all wearing matching pajamas and doing photo shoots. And I know your grandmother, and I helped
mm,
that one time, and now it's like you're having to cut that off and start over it. You feel like you're wrong, like you
mm-hmm.
owe them something. But at the end of all, I guess all the videos I do, the underlying principle is people who want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what you want, and this person is not willing to get on that page, then you got to make some tough decisions.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part, is making those tough decisions. But I mean, it has to be made. Otherwise, as the woman, as the 10-year chick, you're literally just waiting. You're
Mm.
here, you're waiting. And then, you're the
So
15.
when did she say I'm done? What I mean, what's like the I don't know 3 steps to direct.
Well, I mean, I can't make that. No one can make that decision for
What
her.
are the red flags or the signs to where hey you might want to dip?
Um, I mean, people don't like it when people put a time limit on anything relationship
Yes,
wise.
they do. 90 days till we have sex. 3 years till we do. That's what I'm saying. Like for most things that I've seen. Again, we're not women, but just I mean, you look at your average Cosmopolitan magazine. There's always steps or a time limit. So because that's what women have to go off of a lot of times, with other women's perspectives, right? Especially if it's another married woman. I'm just speculating here.
Yeah, I think maybe more in detail, people don't like it when you set a time limit
Mm-hmm.
and the result is a decision that they don't want to make, right?
Oh,
So I would say, for me personally,
yeah,
I think if you've reached 3 or 4 years, and it's not that you have to be married on the last day of the fourth year,
yeah,
but after 3 or 4 years, and say from the woman's perspective, you're this man knows you want to be married,
right.
and he knows you want to be married to him,
Because she would have made that clear, right? These are my expectations in the beginning.
and you wanted to talk about it,
Yeah.
and he hasn't taken you ring shopping, or when
Mm.
you talk about the wedding, he avoids it. Or what I'm starting to see a lot of is, and I get it, but when a man says, you know what, before we get married, I have to do X, Y, and Z before I'll even consider it. So before,
Mm.
unless those three things have happened, then we're not getting married. And
Okay.
I understand, as you want to be a provider, you want to have your money straight. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the result is the woman is waiting.
Well, for me, in my experience, just I was thinking about this like ever since we had our first date. I was thinking about this episode, like date to record. Anyway, uh,
Yeah,
I think about the conversation I've had with guys and females or girls, whatever. So for guys, it seems like that it's like an aha moment. It was for me. We're kind
yeah,
of, I always say, guys, we're more a little more simple. We hard. We got our truths. We got we concrete when we want, but usually it ain't that deep for most of it, right. So
yeah,
for me, especially, it was an aha moment. It was like one, yeah, I think I might be something I want to do, unless it's just something crazy happen. Like I pretty much know, but you got to get to a certain point. For some
yeah,
things, it might look like, hey, you met my mom, y'all good, or she held me when I was down, type stuff, or she really can, whatever it is for that guy. Like, yeah, I can settle down with this because that's what it usually is for most guys. I think, at least in my generation, deciding to settle down, not be out there.
yeah,
And then for women, it's like they have like, well, he got to be this height, this color, this tax bracket, dun 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 dun, and then yeah, that's where I can flaunt, I can flaunt my new husband around.
yeah. Well, in the situation for the women, let's go back to like the 3 4 year mark, right?
Yep, yep.
Let's say you're a great woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's say you're not perfect, but you're working through your trauma, which is big,
Mm-hmm.
and you're a solid woman. Um, and but let's say even though you are that, he still is avoiding the ring shopping. He still
Mm,
is, dodging the question. He still is putting all these other roadblocks in front of your relationship that he has to conquer first before he gets to you last.
mm.
That right there, it could be 3 years, it could be 4 years, but that right there is, as a woman, that's when it's like, okay, wait a minute, wait. Like, so how long is this going to take?
They should say that though, right? It shouldn't be like a he should know type thing.
Yeah, it's a he should know, or we've talked about it and I know it's going to happen, and
Mm,
there's a fine line between I know it's going to happen and I hope it happens one day to we'll see. And the
oh, so
line,
verbiage is important.
yeah, the lines start to get blurred as you tack on those years. So
Yeah.
then by the time you look up, you're at year 10, and it's just like, hey, when y'all getting married? And usually women want to, that's when the women don't even want to talk about it anymore because they're just
Mm.
like, go ask him, I don't know.
And he just like, well, I thought we was good. I thought
Yeah, but
we
and you know what I mean? And so it's one of those situations where, from the woman's perspective, you got to make that decision.
Yeah.
It's hard, but that is when it's like, okay, this guy doesn't want to give you what you're asking for. So you
Mm.
gotta you gotta make some moves,
What did it look like for you when you got married? Like, what was the moment for you?
Yeah, so that is kind of the whole idea of the friends first concept,
Okay.
the brand, everything. So
Yeah.
I was actually best friends with my wife before we had any contact intimately or even anything remotely beyond friendship.
Hmm.
Her and I met in 2008, and at the point that we met, we had known each other for like 8 years.
Oh wow.
And but she's actually from London, so she met in she studied abroad. I went
Hmm.
to college in Oklahoma at OU. We met, we were friends. She went back to London. We kind of kept in touch a little bit. And then after not speaking for a couple of years, we reconnected. And over
Mm.
the course of a year and a half, we became best friends, talking every day.
Nice.
But it wasn't like
At all? When you reconnect, that's the first thing you think, though, right? Oh, she look good. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not take a picture of her or something.
maybe I'm different, or maybe my mindset has changed. But you know, after the relationship before my wife, well, let's
Yeah.
go back to that. So
Okay.
the relationship before my wife, when that ended, that was when I had a come to Jesus moment. I said, you know what, God, I'm doing something wrong.
Mm.
Something's wrong with me because regardless of how the relationship ended, I'm still wrong because I picked that person.
Mm.
No, even if I think I'm a great guy, I still picked that person. So it's my fault. I'm wrong. So I told myself two things. I said, number one, I said, I will be single as long as it takes to find the right woman. I'll be single forever. I don't care.
Hmm.
It has to be the right one. And then I also said that I will not ask a woman to be my girlfriend unless I already want her to be my wife.
How do we do? I've always how,
Well, see, that's the thing. In order to do that, you have to really get to know this woman on a friendship level.
but there's still intimate kind of questions that you ask when
This is,
you're dating, right?
but here's the thing: if you're an, so there's a difference, there's a distinction to make between being a friend
Uh
and
huh.
friendly. Now, most people are friendly
Okay.
because they like you or they want something.
Hmm.
So everything is geared towards how can I maneuver myself closer to them to achieve a goal. Whereas being real, actual friends, you can talk about all that stuff,
Hmm.
but not because you want to know how she gets down in the bedroom, because you just happen to be talking about sex that day.
Well, it could be like well, I guess you're right though, because everything else wouldn't really matter. It would be a friend thing.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
well, you ask because I don't know. It's just like the feel. What I'm talking about. I don't know how to describe like the feeling you get when like, all right, let me just see what you about. Like, like for my wife, like I told her maybe like a couple months after we got married, I said I got you angry on purpose. I wanted to see how angry you could get. I wanted to see every part of you, the whole rainbow. I wanted to see when you jealous, you angry, because I think that we need to know what our threshold is for people.
Yeah.
in our own personal threshold. My threshold for you, my
Yeah.
threshold for my wife, my dog, my patience, right? Because whatever we value, we give a little bit more kind of leeway to. And so I wanted to see how far we could go. Like, I want to do all that because I don't want to be surprised. That's me. And
Yeah.
so for me, it's you listen to the other podcasts or hear the old other dirty stories and stuff, but it took me a while, like, of just weaning a mindset off of
Yeah.
me, because I knew, I said, I got to a point, hey, I know I want to marry her. I said, but I'm not personally here. Like you said, get myself whole first. So I say it took me about 8 months to a year to like mentally be ready. And I don't want to say I started in January, but we got engaged in December. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it was one of my New Year's resolutions. I don't know, but I know I had that moment. I said, well, I definitely see something here. I definitely see something serious. I'm listening to my brother. He like, well, check the family out too. You
Yeah.
gotta look at the mom and the dads. How she gonna look in 30 years? That's what my brother talk. But that was the truth. Like I'm looking like, because you're not just marrying the woman, like, or marrying the husband, you're marrying a family too. Like, talk about ties, whatever. So I'm looking at all of that stuff. I'm weighing it. I'm almost having like a back and forth in my head all the time. Like, but every time she was worth it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, she was worth the whatever was going through the family, blah blah blah. And so that's how it is for me. But I think a lot of stuff that you say in your videos is predicated upon people having like a wholesome, I wouldn't say wholesome life, but people knowing themselves first. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of heavy topics, even though it's a short videos, right? But it's kind of like I don't know, taking like a diet pill. They say
Yeah.
take one diet pill a day, you lose 3 to 5 pounds a week, whatever, right? But that's predicated upon you working out. You're not
Yeah.
gonna take a pre-workout and not go work out. You know what I'm saying? And so like you're giving great relationship advice, but I think that people aren't ready for it for half of it. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, because you talk like, I know you have like a base of people, right? But if I'm just a guy just finds your video, I'm like, what celibacy? What saving myself? What 10 years? Like, it's like I can't even begin to do what this guy's telling me to do or to even consider it because I got to get my life right. And another thing too, I'm not trying to overtalk,
No,
but
you're good.
it's like in certain videos you don't even know that you believe in God, which is great.
Yeah.
You talking very generally,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you just like, hey, just be a good person. Just know yourself first. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And it's God definitely sprinkled all in there. They get it if you watch 2 or 3 videos. Obviously, we come from a Christian background, but how I came to Christ was it had to make sense on both sides for
Yeah.
me. How I came to Christ. I was raised up in the church and I got baptized, but that ain't the real thing. You got to like find Christ for yourself. People be
That's right.
forcing you back in the day to get baptized and walk up to the altar. That's the whole story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I say this all the time. I say all I know is when I tithe, I got money in my account. When I don't, I don't. All I know is when I treat people right, it tends to come back. And so a lot of the things are mirrored in the Bible. And then once you get kind of down deeper into it, then then God's transforming you. Then He's making you better because you're doing what it takes to be better for yourself. And then do what you can in the natural. Let God provide the supernatural. Anyway, I ain't trying to talk too much,
Yeah.
but it's like I wanna the reason I'm saying all of this is because the stuff that you're putting out is like so potent.
Yeah.
And I want I know it takes a lot, because it's like it's cut perfectly, like it has a flow. You're not
Yeah.
just out here talking on
Yeah.
TikTok, you just yelling at folks. You're like it's very thought out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, what you said there it is potent. And, a lot of people may not be ready for it because I feel like I am offering, it's not a new approach,
Mm-hmm.
but it's approach that nobody wants to do, you know,
Yeah.
because it's not, it does, and it's not that you have to be a virgin, but it's just that you need to prioritize getting to know this person because, in the internet age, um, we see everyone's ultimate highs. That's all we see
Mm-hmm.
all day is just wins, success, you know, e-commerce. Someone,
Yeah.
I always use the example: someone getting proposed to on a helicopter at the
Oh no.
New York rooftop.
They didn't see
Man,
them
that's all.
arguing 5 minutes ago.
They were about to chop each other's heads off before the video started, And so but at the under, at the base of it is marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's understanding that marriage is supposed to be lifelong. And, when you're 28, you don't realize that if you do the math, let's say you get married at 30,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you live to be 65, that's 35 years with one person. So we don't think about that. We
Yeah.
just, oh, I want to get involved. I want to see what they're about. I want to get close to them as quickly as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
we're just testing everybody. And it's harder than that because 20 years, I mean, we heard of people getting divorced at year 25,
Yeah.
and then you dig into their story. It's like, oh, I haven't liked this person for 10 years, but we were just waiting till the kids got out of high school.
Wow.
Crazy stuff like that. So friends first is the approach that, I say it in the videos, get to know the people in your life,
Mm-hmm.
that you're not out here, because the rates for divorce on second and third marriages are astronomical.
Yeah.
So for anyone that wants to be married, you know, finding a mate, finding a spouse, you cannot find a spouse the same way you find a friend with benefits.
Mm.
People, I feel like the average person is just out here testing the waters. Oh, I like them a little bit more than I like them. Let's go get married. They're using the same
Yeah.
tools and tactics to select a wife or a husband.
Mm.
So I believe that if you're trying to find a spouse, whatever you've been doing to hook up, that's not the game plan anymore. You really
Mm.
get to know this person because they're going to be there with you when you break your ankle and you're in the hospital. They're
Man.
going to be feeding you soup because you broke your feeding hand
Yeah.
in basketball. I mean, they're the
And
ones doing
I don't
that.
think it's the big stuff either that's the reason why people get divorced. It's the leaving the drawers right beside the clothes hamper. It's like the toothpaste cap is popped over. All you gotta do is close it. I
Yeah,
think it's just years of that. And then one day it's like I'm done. I
man.
mean, you got big stuff too, finances and fidelity and stuff, but it's a culmination that we don't realize. And so that's why I said threshold. It's a perfect example.
And you know what? I I genuinely, honestly believe that you can find that threshold in friendship,
Mm,
but only if you're trying to be an actual friend. Because if you're just being friendly, you're
mm-hmm.
overlooking all that stuff. You're just trying to get to the bed or you're trying to get to the date. But
Okay.
if I'm your real friend, then we can talk about what you've been through. We can talk about that trauma. We can talk about your
Hmm.
sexual past. We can talk about all those things people leave out because
Yeah.
we're afraid they'll run you away. Well, they're gonna find out anyway. And that was a video I just did. You're gonna be single anyway. If
Yeah.
you if
Facts. Yeah.
if it's not there, then you're going to break up at some point. And so instead of doing that, I'd rather be single for 10 years
Mm,
and find the right one and we stay married and never get divorced than 10 years of breakups and having children and trauma, and in 10 years I'm single anyway, but now I have all this baggage.
that was the question of the day, I think. Right. It's a question of the
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Would you rather be single for 10 years or
Yeah.
go through 2 or 3 bad breakups in 10 years?
Okay. Okay. I got one for you then.
Okay.
Little bit level two question, right?
All
So
right.
they say, well, how am I supposed to know how they are when they at home if I don't live with them, or if I don't like do the thing with at least live together, right? So you have that whole dynamic. And then they to the next level.
Mhm.
Well, and I know the answer, but I want to see well the for lack of better words, the Christian answer, the godly answer.
Yeah.
But they say, Jabril, like, how am I supposed to wait if I don't even know if they're good in bed or not? Or how am I supposed to wait if I don't even know their idiosyncrasies, like what they do in the house? I don't know because I'm not living with them. Because everybody's telling me I gotta wait to get married, wait to move in, blah blah blah.
Yeah. So as far as like the sex, just talk about it. But here's what I found. If you want to
Okay.
talk about anything,
Yeah.
you don't make it about you and that person because then people might get defensive. You make it about something else that's outside of you two. So it can be like, hey, I read this article about sex.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this documentary about sex. You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
Personality traits in the bedroom, so you can kind of
Yeah,
feel each other out.
what do you think about that? Instead
Yeah.
of what do you like to do? You know what I mean? And guess what? You can still get the same outcome. And that's with anything religion, how
Mm-hmm.
you raise your children, how you handle your money. You know, you talk, and that's the thing, just friend stuff, you know, when you
Mm-hmm.
hang out with your friends. Hey, man, did you see that movie? Did you see that video? You
Yeah.
know, thing? And y'all talk about that and you learn about each other, you know? And like, I think that people, when they consider people who could be potential mates, we always go into like dating mode.
Mm-hmm.
I need to ask you about you. And you know what I mean? I need to know
Yeah.
dark secrets when, like I said, you can still get the same outcomes. As far as living together, I definitely don't agree with like Netflix and chilling with
Mm-hmm.
friends
Right.
who could be mates. But, you know, as a friend, after a while, you should feel comfortable. Hey, let me come over.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you come over? I'm cooking some food, come through. Or, hey, you know, stop by you
People
know,
aren't showing them their real selves though. If it's a dating thing, because I'm trying to understand. I hope I'm not going to talking in circles, but like
yeah.
I'm trying to get the people in me really understand like what a friend really means. I guess what for of the opposite sex actually, because it's easy. Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, we all chill anyway. You know, after maybe the second or third visit, we get cool. I'm gonna do whatever you can do, whatever, and it is what it is. With the female, it's still like always a you know,
Well, I mean,
as a
I
friend though.
yeah, I agree, and that's the hardest part
Yeah.
because we've been conditioned to believe that men and women or people who would find the other person attractive can't be friends,
Okay.
and that's not true. But it all depends on how you approach it. And most people, if they see an attractive female, their mind automatically goes to, man, she'd be good in bed, or
Right.
man, she looked good on my arm,
Right.
or you know what I mean? And it's that's like nature.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, again, what I think people need to do sometimes is go back to a past broken relationship and think about how that began. Um,
Okay, that's good.
you know, and think
Yeah.
about, man, when you met old girl, she was fine, wasn't she? Oh man, she was
Yeah.
fine. Y'all went on dates, and guess what? And she ended up being wrong, or
Mm-hmm.
you ended up being wrong for her. You know, and I think, you know, as far as like dates, like you said, people are trying to put on their best foot forward only to show their worst foot next week, if that even makes sense, you
So what do
know?
you think? I think I said this in the last episode. I heard some. It was like great advice. I feel like it may not be like the best, but you know, this is no tech talk, so whatever.
Yeah.
The guy was like, get a bottle of tequila or your drink of choice when you meet somebody if you want to be serious and talk about all the hard stuff. Like you said, talk about trauma, talk about like daddy issues, mommy issues, talk about the time you cheated on so and so and get it all out. It's kind of
Yeah.
like they say when you have sex first, it kind of breaks down the walls. So I say, well, instead of having not having to have sex, sorry, then you're just getting it out. So just be
Yeah.
candid up front, and then we can be our best selves together when we already know each other dirty secrets. What do you think about that?
I hadn't heard that
It was
advice.
like, yeah, get your bottle or whatever, sit
Yeah.
down, talk it out,
But,
cry, laugh, whatever, and go with it.
but you know what?
If you drink, I guess.
Honestly, just thinking about it, that's probably more effective than what most people are doing. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I'll give you a story. So, a buddy of mine who does rideshare, drives Uber and Lyft,
Yeah.
beautiful couple from a nice restaurant downtown. This is a true story.
Okay.
He picked them up, and you know they're getting the back seat. Obviously, they're ending a date, going home. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you look nice. What's the occasion? And they said, well, you know, we're actually just not celebrating, but we're kind of celebrating, you know, our divorce. We're getting divorced. What? What
Mm.
happened? Long story short, they had been together for 4 years total,
Yeah.
married for less than a year, and were getting divorced because they could not agree on whether or not they wanted to have kids.
Oh.
And I'll never forget that story.
Hmm.
And it could
That's
be, and you
yeah. Go
can
ahead.
just insert kids with money or
Yeah.
moving or jobs, anything, and it's like, how are you together for 4 years and
It don't come up one time.
Or you didn't take, like, that doesn't make any sense. And now you're divorced because so that,
Mm,
that means that they didn't have too many serious conversations, or they didn't really uncover the true, information they needed to know to move forward with confidence.
mm,
At the end of the day, I believe that being friends first, it gives you some authority behind your decision to be
mm,
together, because you know who this person is. You went over
yeah,
the house. As a friend, if someone's coming over, I may clean the house up, but it's not going to be perfect.
yeah,
I'm not gonna have a candle going and some smooth jazz. Like, hey, come on in. I just got
yeah.
to the gym, chill on the couch. We can roll out. Like, that's friend stuff.
Hmm.
But if you got a girl coming over or whatever, the house is perfect, right? You found a recipe on Pinterest and you're cooking some
Yeah.
rotini on the stove, and you're trying to be the best version of you,
Mm,
but that's not who they're going to marry. So
mm.
be friends first, be real friends, get to know people, and when it's time to make the decision, you'll make it. You know.
Okay. Level three question, and we almost done.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
No, well, it's on level three for me. It might be easy for you. I don't know. So I give a lot of advice. I talk a lot. I have a lot of areas that I tend to give advice in, and I'm not trying to say I'm trying to do it. I just end up doing it. Um, a female who is very successful, let's say between 28 and 35, or somewhere around there.
Okay.
Um, they say I'm doing all the right things. I'm going to church. I got my doctorate and whatever. They successful. Don't need no money. Type of strong, independent, right? The Taraja P of that movie, whatever that movie was, of women, and they feel like that they have to kind of water themselves down when they really want to just be them true selves, just have somebody. So like, no matter what they want, but they just feel like they can't find nobody because they're intimidating to other men. And so my answer is automatically like, well, that just means they're insecure and they need to better themselves and you can wait and da da da. But then
Yeah.
I'm thinking, cause I've heard this like so many times, like maybe even like the last couple of months, they're like, I'm tired of waiting. I'm doing this. I'm listening to all the folks and I'm just trying to do anything I can, just to make myself palatable to these men out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So like that's a whole nother dynamic. That's probably might be a video on of yours one of these days. Like even a man
Yeah.
approaching, because a lot of men, I heard it. What do I have to offer to her? She got a Benz and I got a Honda Civic. Like I'm not saying you couldn't get her, bro, but like there's a give and take on both sides. What do you think about that?
Well,
Right?
talk from the woman's perspective.
Yeah.
Uh, well, in general, if you have achieved a certain status in life, you will naturally carry yourself differently.
Right.
And I think that man or woman, sometimes that can turn off other people because they think, oh, well, they seem to be up there, but I seem to be down here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that one thing men and women can do, but I guess we'll talk about women, is just to not saying that all women do this, but just to approach men just like, hey, like, yeah, I got all this, but hey, I'm just a regular chick. Like,
Right.
I'm not like, yeah, I've achieved this. I'm moving in a different way than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a different person. Like, at the end of the day, I still want to do this. I still want to do that.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. Let's go catch a movie. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be like an action movie like a man wants to see, but just approaching people with the "you have something to prove to me" stance. But
Facts. That's
hey,
good.
let's
That's
get to know
good.
each other. You know,
Yeah,
and
so we already know about the women that come off of they super strong. I need this. We forget them. They got their own issue. We talking about because that's what I'm finding is, well, they see it as watering down, but like you said, it's not that. It's just chill. We see you. I see the bins. I see the whatever, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
enough. That's the superficial stuff, and that's for the guys. We're like, hey, see what she's really about, and to add for one, take a chance on yourself, bro. Nobody care about that Honda Civic. Go
yeah,
get her, right?
yeah. But I feel like if someone compares themselves to, like, not like bougie, but just
It's just
like
oozing out
like
of them. You
like
know.
I'm not a regular person. I'm
Mm,
something else. If because you can tell when you meet someone. Let's say you meet somebody, you don't know what car they drive. but just their vibe, their spirit,
Yeah.
just their vocal inflection, their body language, just their willingness to be genuine.
Mm.
That, man, that goes a long way. And then if it's like, oh man, you driving that? She's like, yeah, ain't nothing, no. If she just cool about it, that
Mm-hmm.
goes a long way.
And that's the thing that we do in the background. Things that we do in the background. I talk with my wife all the time. So like right now, I'm active duty, kind of holding it down. But she's in PT school. It's a skeleton right beside me. I wish I could show you. It's like a whole skeleton right beside me. She's in PT school, but in a year, what's this month? So in about a year and a half, she's gonna be making like six figures easy,
Killing it. Yeah.
killing me.
Yeah.
But for myself, I have to make it. I don't know if this is right or not. My therapist told me like these type of thoughts were good. I don't know, but I'm like, shoot, like I held it down. Like I was there for this in the ground years. I was a her shooting the gym.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we've been doing that for each other ever since we met. So even when she met me, like my rent was like 600 a month. Couldn't even pay that. I went and got a job that was a mile away from my house, and I had a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Civic.
just because I knew I wouldn't have gas to get there sometimes. So
Uh,
I will walk to work. That's how bad it was. Like I think maybe 7 months in, I'm asking her for $200 just to complete my rent. My
yeah.
washer and dryer, bro, wasn't even in my space. I had to walk like 2 blocks
Yeah.
in a little complex
Been there. The
you
complex.
know. And
Yeah.
so like that's what it was for me. Like I guess it was a holding me down. That's when I like knew like yes, you real. And so like then we started to grow. So then we kind of flipped, and it's me now, and she's in school, and we're doing our thing. But we had the understanding. And so when I people were like they see that she in school and everything, like, hey man, you finna have to take it easy. I said no. I said because that's making me want to up my game again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
using it as like a thing. So like if I'm using the double-edged sword pride like a man, right? Let's say I'm using it. But I'm using it for good instead of evil.
Yeah.
Okay, I see my wife leveling up. Maybe I started taking classes again. I started my podcast. I started doing things I love and enjoy, so I can feel fulfilled. So I wouldn't feel bad when she outshine. And it's us anyway. It's all coming in the same pot. But still, I couldn't let the outside world of society tell me what was acceptable or what was right
Yeah.
in my own marriage for one. But it gets to it sometimes. I can't lie, because a lot of people I know might be listening like, no, Jay, like I'm trying to be a man, I'm trying to do, and I just don't want women to water themselves down. But I think men need to give themselves more credit no matter where you are,
I agree.
you
And
know.
and I do believe that now this is like another video, but man or woman,
Mm-hmm.
question you might have to ask yourself in some cases is maybe I should water myself down. Maybe I am too much. But that's men and women.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times we've never, like I said, I said to myself, something's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can't find somebody. It's my fault. And not saying that everyone's to blame, but sometimes you might need to take a moment to say, man, maybe I should change something. Maybe I'm being too much.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that aren't in that category either, you just got to connect with people in a genuine way.
Yeah.
And
Vibes.
I said something in one of my videos. I said people are out here trying to hit home runs. You know, it's like
Yeah.
they won't even swing at that ball. They're just okay. No, that's not a home run. That no, that's not going. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, they're doing that because they're seeing them for what they know society sees them as, not that from what they see them as. That's the
Yeah,
home run, right?
yeah. And you listen, you can hit a home run,
Uh-huh.
but first of all, trying to hit a home run will set you up for disappointment
Every time.
because it's not easy to hit a home run. And the longer you wait, there's all these opportunities
Mm-hmm.
whizzing by you. And guess what? If you let too many go by, you end up losing anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's not about watering yourself down or settling or whatever you want to call that. It's about, you know what? Let me connect with somebody. Let me really find
Mm-hmm.
somebody. Let me hit this double and we're going to win the game,
Yeah.
And
I asked a lady one time, and she was probably about 20 years older than me, but she was bad, bro. I mean, this was in church in the choir room. I will not forget it. She was bad. I had to ask. I mean, it is what it
yeah,
is. Worst you could do is tell me no. Like, I didn't say it like this, but like she was bad. Let's say she was a 10, her husband like a smooth 4. I mean, on a good day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. And so again, no tech, whatever. But like we see this a lot too. And I'm trying to cover all of the bases. I ain't trying to take up too much of your night, but
Yeah.
we see it could be a 10 for a guy, vice versa, whatever. And we always say, like, man, how did he end up with her? And how did she end up with him? That's wild. Like they don't even look like they should be together, type feel. And I asked her, and she was like, well, he got me. And that's what she said. Because you knew she said it like she always answers this question for one.
Yeah.
But she was like, he got me. He understood who I really was. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. I mean, nothing wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just like, man, like you look at the women, like you could have anybody. And what she was saying as far as the home runs, I tried that for about a year back in my back way back in the days, you know. But
Yeah.
all the home runs that I was finding had so many issues. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
ain't worth it. Not saying you should go try to find some trash. I'm just saying, and you're not settling, is what we're saying. I don't feel
Yeah.
like that you're settling at no point, but like I feel like for me, my experience, most home runs are it's what all good as ain't gold, bro. I'm telling you, once you meet them and for real,
I agree.
they they
I
just batting. What's the little thing where you don't even hit the ball for real? You just bunting it kind of just to get a bat.
agree.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, they got something going on, drama, issues, whatever that you ain't want no way. And so she looked like a home run, but no
Yeah.
substance.
And one thing we've all heard, just talking about like celebrities or like super rich
Yeah.
people, when you see them out, man, a lot of times you see interviews like, man, like I'm a normal guy. Like
Mhm.
I'm a multimillionaire, but I'm still like, I just want to go home and eat a ham sandwich, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like every no matter where you are, we're all just people,
hmm
and so, friends first is like, let me find out who more people are. Not because I want something from them. And that I gotta say that over and over.
Yeah.
Not because you want something from them. Because until you get to know them, you don't even know what you want. You don't even know what you're saying yes to. You don't even know what you're lusting after,
Mm,
right?
that's yeah.
And until, oh man, 2, 3 years later, dang, like she got issues. He's
Yeah.
crazy. They're manipulative. They're controlling. They're lazy. They
yeah.
don't think. Like, and then you're gonna be single anyway. It all comes
Just
full.
no paperwork and money and everything
Yeah.
else.
So
Yeah.
I think you should take a year to get to know somebody.
That's fair.
That's what I think. I think that you should operate
All the
more.
holidays. All
Yeah.
the holidays.
I think you should take a year, meet people in the church, meet people at your job. When you get invited out to the company function, actually go
hmm
and meet people. Don't just go to work, HEB home, you know, work, liquor store, home. Like,
Yeah.
go out, meet people. Don't invite them over at midnight. Just say, hey, let's go wash. I want to go wash my car. Your car is kind of dirty. Let's go wash your car. Like, do friend stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And because going kind of back to the beginning, I think that when a man wants to marry a woman, he
He
just
knows.
knows. And if he, going back to like the 10-year dude,
hmm
what does he not know in year 10 that he already knew in year 2? Like, what 8, like he knows you.
Yeah.
He knows you.
It
Let me
ain't
tell
too much more you can show me, dog.
you,
Like,
every single thing about you. And if he
yeah.
has not married you, it is because he does not want to marry you. Period.
Mm.
And I'll tell you that. He don't want to marry you. So, men know, but it's about knowing that person. And, after, getting to know my wife, uh,
hmm
we shared our first kiss and we were engaged like a year and 3 months later.
Nice. The
No,
kids did it, huh? The kids did it. You started saving for the ring right then. The
but you know
kiss.
what? But it's because I knew who she was. It
That's
was
what's up.
because, as a friend, I told her everything about each other. She knew
Mm.
all my sexual history.
Yeah.
Like, we knew it all. But the main reason was because, I wasn't telling her to get something from her. I was just telling her because she was my friend. And that's
Yeah.
You talk to your friends and get to know each other, and it just so happened that she was my wife, and here we are, you know. So
That's
that's
dope.
that's my story. That's where friends first came from, was having that moment, and then a couple years later I'm married. I'm like, oh my god, like this is how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is how you move forward, you know, confidently. And I just think it makes sense, you know, personally.
That's what's up. Hey, you heard it here first. Friends first. That's what's up. So the last two segments on the podcast are a patented segments we have here. I don't really like you being having anything too rigid, kind of go with the flow guy, but these are like staples,
Yeah.
on the podcast. First question is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and how would you use it to make money? Now, halfway through this question, people are answering. Everybody wants to be deep and say the right thing. And no, like I need this to be a selfish Jarrell superpower that will make your life easier. How you would make money using it. It needs to make your life better. Don't say I want to hug people and cure them of cancer. I don't say I want to
Yeah.
make every relationship. No, it ain't your problem. We talking about for you.
You know what? This is an easy one. Being able to read people's minds,
Oh,
because you know,
okay,
I'm a wedding photographer. I'm a photographer. So if
okay.
I'm on the phone with you or I'm sitting with you in person and I'm
Mm,
trying to get you to trust me and hire me, I'm like, okay, so they want, so I can just speak to, and it's, you know, that's what I would do.
you
It's like,
already know how they feeling.
and all my you know, business owners can attest, is nothing more frustrating. And I'll tell you a story to go along with it.
All right.
A couple years ago, on my website, on my contact form, there was a field that said, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you for me to shoot your wedding?
Hmm.
And she put 100. So when I got the email, I'm like, this is in the bag. I'm about to book.
Yeah.
On the phone, we talked for almost an hour. We're talking, we're laughing. And she said, oh my God, like, you're incredible, Darrell. This is everything we want. It's right on budget. Hey, I'm going to talk to my fiance, but like, this is it.
Yeah.
And she ghosted me, and I never heard from her ever again. I
That's how I
called,
go.
emailed, I text. She disappeared off the face of the earth.
That's why
And
guys are in jail right there.
bro,
They're open. They're finally vulnerable.
bro,
But
and
she ghosted him, and now he got to kill somebody.
yeah, I'm just like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Even if they don't hire me, at least I can know more about, you know, what is really important to brides. How
Hmm.
I can even tailor my business to, you know, better meet their needs. You know, so it's not about, you know, tricking them. It's like, okay, now I know brides and what they need 10 times better now. You
Mm.
know, this is any business. This is also any, you know, any business deal, any interview.
He probably thought she was trying to come in on his lady. Y'all talking for so long. That's what happened.
Man, it had to be.
You talked to
Uh,
him for how long? Oh no, we going with JJ down the street. Nah, we ain't going.
yeah, so yeah, reading minds, I think that would be like
So
that would
you definitely make money with that for sure.
be for sure.
Well, I say that the reason why I asked have you heard the episode before of No Tech Talk? So
Yeah,
yeah, you know how to do it. So the reason why I asked that question is because I would say it's usually the opposite, but reading minds is pretty is an easy answer. I would tell people in relationships, hey, if you want to find out how somebody is, ask them what their favorite superpower would be because that will show you their insecurities. This isn't to like bring nobody out, but it's super. I'm a professional. I got tattoos, bro. I'm a
yeah,
professional nerd, and so with reading minds, if you look at any type of mega mind or whatever, obviously you're analytical. You like to be in control of situations, but that means you feel like you lack control in a lot of situations. But it's to a deeper level. We all feel like that sometimes, but it's to a deeper level. I don't think you're the most personally extroverted person. Sorry, but you're
yeah.
kind of like the guy that sneak up behind you, like and like you probably be a sniper on Call of Duty instead of like the AR guy. I'm just gonna pow, pow, knock. So you want to kind of see everything from a bird's eye view, right? And so that's why you would want that. And so you more of the analytical type, kind of want wait and see type of person. For me, I'm guns a blazing. I hate the levels on the games where I gotta like be secretive, and I've never played Batman because you always have to figure stuff out. I just want to
Yeah.
go shoot stuff, turn the game off, go to sleep. I don't got time. No, I don't like no. So But that's dope, man. Mine, I always tell people is yeah, obviously super speed. I always want to be fast. But the thing about that is, if you ever watch even one episode of Flash, when he's running, things are slow for him.
Yeah.
Right? It's not really about being fast. It's just about being able to control these fast moments in life. And a lot of times I don't feel like I got control because everything is just moving like that. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the Flash, man. Anyway, so
What's up?
last part, man, and we're out. This is a scripture for you. Nobody else has received in these 52 episodes. Nobody else is gonna
Oh,
receive that. Hopefully, until I run out of scripture of the Bible, then I might do something different. But I'm at First Peter 4:8. I came out of the NIV version. It says, "Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins." Now, of
mhm.
course, there's a lot of love scriptures in the Bible. I didn't want to come from First Corinthians, nothing. I ain't want to do none of that, right? I wanted to get something different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna explain, what it kind of means to me, and you can explain what it means to you, and then we'll be out of here, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So obviously, for me, the multitude of sins. So we're very fleshly people. That's why I told you my whole little spiel about kind of seeing the what's under the rug of my mate or my friends. Like I want to know like what you're really about,
Yeah.
and what I'm willing to deal with. But there is a guy. Whew, when I tell you, bro, I'm gonna put some organs.
Tune it up. Tune it up.
I'm gonna have so much fun with this episode, dog. There is a guy that loves you, man. He loves you no matter what. And to anybody that's listening to this, and this is exactly what Jarrell talks about in his videos. It's about you being whole first, and definitely on the spiritual side, like having a relationship with yourself is extremely important. Being able to go out to Olive Garden by yourself, having a great night with yourself, going to the movies by yourself is important. The person that you want to be with, yes, they should make you happy, but they shouldn't be the source of your
Yeah.
happiness. They should compliment, right? I mean, can you go along with it? They should compliment you, right? You should compliment each other. Y'all be happy together.
Yeah. I
And this
agree.
is for people who don't even believe, People
Yeah.
call it Christian podcast, whatever you want to call it, but there's a scripture at the end. But if you are so inclined to take that step, God's gonna love you regardless.
Yeah.
After the 10-year chick, 10-year girl, whatever, he's still gonna love you through all of the mess and the stuff that you was dealing with, all the stuff that he talks about of our insecurities and our fleshly desires. Whether you've been with everybody in the world, God still love you, or whether you haven't, and you feel like you ain't done nothing.
Yeah.
That's the whole other part of it. Like some people feel like, well, I'm trying to do everything right, but everybody I talk to, um, has done so much more than me, so I don't feel like I can connect because I ain't done nothing. I'm out here like a white rabbit around a bunch of wolves, But that's how we, fill in the gap.
Yeah.
We allow God and truly allow God, cover everything that's wrong with us, which is a bunch with everybody, and let Him come in, and we good. That's
Yeah.
me.
What's up, man? So I looked at it a little differently. So
Okay.
I'm going to add a little context to in that scripture, love, and I'm going to say love the right way covers a multitude of sins. And what I think of when I think of that is that in a relationship, if you have love the right way, right? If you have love that's built off of, a friendship, a mutual understanding, and
Mm-hmm.
really being on the same page as husband and wife, then what that will cover, what that will help you to work through is, your flesh, is your sins, is
Mm-hmm.
your bad habits, your trauma, your wandering eyes,
Yeah.
your mishandling of your finances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that is fleshly, anything that could drive a wedge between you two, if you have that foundation, if you have love the right way, it'll cover you and it'll help you to walk through that together.
That's good.
And so yeah, if you make that a priority, then that's how you hit that 30-year, 40-year marriage mark, because you're loving the right way. So that's kind of how I thought of it.
I'm gonna drop some bombs somewhere in here. You heard it here first. I thoroughly enjoyed you, man. I want to say I really appreciate you for taking the time out. A lot of
Absolutely.
people want to do this sometimes. They come on here excited. I get that, but it's still time out of your day. I appreciate you for coming on, dropping some dope knowledge, necessary knowledge, on time knowledge. and
Yeah.
giving, and even caring. I thought about that. That was one of my questions I had up there. Even caring to give people some gems that they can use. A lot of
Yeah.
people I feel like are lonely out there and don't know the right answer, but you're giving them just just a couple of minutes, so much information. They're like, oh, they got to almost research, the video. I'm telling you, like, it's good stuff. So y'all go check them out. We're gonna put all of this stuff in the description. We're
Yeah.
obviously gonna blast this next week sometime. And you do the whole thing.
Yeah.
We'll put it out. Is it friendsfirst.co, right?
Yeah. Friendsfirst.co. You can
Yes.
learn more about, say, the movement, I guess, or watch
Hey,
videos. There's a link to the YouTube channel.
for
And
sure.
yeah, man, appreciate you having me. And after being what I've been through, like a lot of people who have broken relationships,
Mm-hmm.
I just my goal is just so I have a vision, and one day,
Yep.
very soon, first of many, but my goal is somebody calls, email, text, and say, "Hey, Jarrell, like because of something you wrote or made or posted, like
Mm-hmm.
it changed their life, but you know what? Like I'm married now. Like
Wow.
like that to me, life goal complete. Like that's
Yeah. And let me tell you, all it takes is one person.
yeah,
That's something that I've been telling myself and my other creative friends and stuff. If you can just change one, like really change one person's life, I mean, you want to do more for sure. But all it
yeah,
takes is that one person to really just get you fired up because it makes it all worth it. Yeah.
yeah. Because
You know?
I think about myself, and I wish that I would have had somebody give me certain advice at certain,
Mm,
because that would have changed the whole course of my relationship life. So it just I could have been that one person.
mm.
You know what I mean? So now I'm trying to be that for somebody else. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting, and
It's
well,
coming.
it's
I think
coming.
last little thought, we just got to take the advice too. It's a lot of good word out there everywhere, but
Yeah,
we got to take it.
yeah. I mean, that's the
You-
hardest part,
It
but
is for me, including myself. Yeah. I'm telling.
no,
I'll be the first person to say it.
we put the content out, and eventually,
Yeah,
it'll work its magic. So I'm looking forward to that.
that's what's up, man. Well, I gotta be dramatic because I'm gonna put echoes on this too. This has been another edition, 52nd episode of the No Tack Talk podcast. You heard it here first. We are a year in, folks. Thank you all for coming with us on this journey so far. We'll see you in the next year. Thank you, Mr. True Love, for
Yeah,
christening this episode, man. I'm glad it was you. And y'all
sir.
have a great night, great day. Whatever time you listen to this, is another edition of the No Tack Talk podcast. It's always a reminder to live life on purpose and live with a little no tact in your life. Peace.
Yeah.